Welcome back. Now, we may be leaving Afghanistan, but quietly under the radar, America is returning to Libya. Even though we pulled all of our diplomats out in 2014, America still has the bad taste of Benghazi in our mouths. But Joe Biden doesn't care. According to reports, his administration is considering reopening our embassy in Tripoli. So how are things going in Libya right now? Well, a report in March by a UN panel of experts described a free-for-all inside the country as foreign powers fly in drones, transport aircraft, surface-to-air missiles, artillery and armored vehicles, as well as mercenaries from Chad, Sudan, and Syria. What could possibly go wrong? Joining me now, Republican Congressman from Ohio, Jim Jordan, and the Judiciary Committee ranking member. Congressman, I asked you that question seriously. What could go wrong again?
Yeah, well, we know what went wrong back on September 11, 2012, and we know how the then Obama administration tried to blame it on a video and cover it up. And remember, we had Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, Glenn Doherty, and Tyrone Woods give their life for our country. And frankly, Lawrence, while Tyrone Woods was still fighting on the roof of the annex, protecting himself, defending his fellow citizens, the Clinton State Department was already trying to blame it on a video. And of course, Susan Rice went on the Sunday shows a few days after that and made that same argument, misled the entire country that somehow it was the video that was the catalyst for this. So I don't really know why we're heading back. I mean, when I talk with folks around our district, they're not talking about getting American presence back in Libya. They're talking about, the crisis on the border. They're talking about the fact that crime is up because Democrats defund the police. They're talking about the fact that price of everything, inflation is driving the price of everything up. And they're talking about the fact that employers can't find employees because Joe Biden keeps paying people not to work.
You know, Congressman, we tend to forget things. So we got some video of when you were on the committee talking to the former secretary. Take a look.
You had three options, Secretary. You could tell the truth, tell them it was a terrorist attack. You could say, you know what, we're not quite sure. Don't really know for sure. I don't think the evidence is there. You picked the one with no evidence, and you did it because Libya was supposed to be, as Mr. Roskin pointed out, this great success story for the Obama White House and the Clinton State Department.
Congressman, I think that's the same shirt and tie that you have on right now.
It may have been. But, it was the reason they did it was 56 days before an election, and they wanted to admit that they misled the American people. And they blamed this thing on a video. And you think about what Tyrone's did for our country, the sacrifice he made protecting his fellow citizens, and that not even within 24 hours did anyone get there. No one was sent to help these people. And now we're going to go back into this country where we know there's chaos. There's been chaos there for I don't know how many years now. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to the American people, particularly when they see the things that I talked about. This chaos on our southern border, the fact that when you defund the police, you get an increase in crime in every major city. We're seeing that. And the price, Lawrence, the price of everything is up right now. Price of lumber, price of steel, price of aluminum, price of copper, price of eggs, milk, bread, beef, and not to mention the price of gasoline. And yet the Biden administration is focused on going back. Maybe it has something to do with Susan Rice. I don't know. She was the person who went on the 5 Sunday shows 5 days after that terrible day when 4 Americans lost their lives. And, of course, she's a big policy advisor to President Biden now. I don't know why they're doing it, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And my guess is it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to the American people.
I was reading this. This is from the Libyan envoy. They said there is now a willingness of the U.S. administration to exert pressure and invest political capital with some of the allies who have been interfering and were a part of the problem in Libya. That was not the case during the Trump administration. What's your reaction to that?
All I know is during the Trump administration, we didn't have thousands of rockets being fired on our ally Israel. Yeah. We didn't have our Secretary of State treated like Secretary Blinken was treated up in Alaska by his Chinese counterpart. That would have never happened to Mike Pompeo in a Trump administration. President Trump projected strength. The rest of the world, our adversaries, understood that. We're not seeing that now. So, I mean, we'll see how this shakes out. But I got my concerns, and my guess is there's a lot of folks who share those concerns about this move to get back into Libya.
I don't understand why we continue to get into these international conflicts. And when we have a true ally, we can't stand with them. I think that shows you where this administration is going, Congressman. Thank you so much for coming on.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. Biden refused to answer a lot of questions during his presidential.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.